Okay, so today we're going to be talking about the solo from Dewey Square by Charlie Parker. We're going to be analyzing each section of this tune, and we're going to be breaking down each lick that Charlie Parker plays. So let's start with the first A section. Charlie Parker, or Bird, starts off with this initial lick over an E-flat major 7th chord. Now what's happening here? Well, first of all, we are starting from the 6th of the chord, approaching the 5th, and then down to the 4th, resolving to the 3rd, and then going up an arpeggio. You can think of this as a G minor 7 arpeggio, resolving to the root. Now the G minor 7th is the 3rd of E flat, so it really creates an E flat 9 or an E flat major 9 chord. You have the 3rd, the 5th, the major 7, and the 9, and then resolves to E flat. Now these two notes are outside of the key, but at this point we're on an A flat minor chord, okay, so the minor 4 chord. And what's happening here is you have the 4th to the minor 3rd in relation to A flat. And that last part is a resolution to get you back to E flat. Okay, we're resolving on the 3rd of E flat, that G note. So here it is again. Okay, really cool lick. So let's move on to the next one. So this next lick is over the C7 chord. So what's happening here is at first we're in the key of E flat still, just going down the scale, but we're landing on that flat 7 of C. You can kind of think of that as a half-whole diminished scale over the C7 chord. There's your C note, so you have that half step above C, the D flat. And this creates an altered sound over the C7 chord. Okay, so after that point, we're going to resolve to the 3rd of F, okay? Now what's happening right here is we're going up the arpeggio. We're going up an F9 arpeggio. So we have, you can actually play all that as one chord shape right there. You have the 3rd, you have the flat 7, you have the 9, we skip the 5th right there, and go straight to the 13th at the top. So it's really like an F13 arpeggio. So here it is from the C7 again. So after we have the arpeggio, this is the sharp 11, but it's really just a half step above the 5th or below the 5th. There's the 9 of F. And then that's back into the key, or the 4th or the 11th of F. This right here, pretty out. We have an, this note right here is, I'm thinking of this as being part of a whole tone scale over the 5 chord, because Bird does this really quick lick. He does it really fast. And it's a whole tone scale. And you can think of it as a whole tone scale over the B flat 7th chord, so the 5 chord. So this would be like the sharp 5. That last note is the flat 7th. Okay? And then at that point, we have our turnaround at the end where we have the 3, 6, 2, 5. And we start off with going up the G minor arpeggio. And then we're going to go down the scale. And we resolve to the E flat. Now this right here is an F note, so it's going to be the 9 of the E flat major 7th. Really cool lick. You can use that over any kind of turnaround in this key. So 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. Okay, so let's move on to the next lick. Now this I kind of consider to just be blues. So it is over an F or over the minor 4 chord of the A flat minor 6. So it's kind of from the 5th here. And you have this is the flat 3rd in the key of E flat, but it's also the flat 7 if you're thinking about A flat minor. But I'm just thinking of this as a blues lick. Yeah, that's kind of all blues. Now this part is really weird rhythmically. I wrote it down as best as I could describe it, but he's kind of playing around with the rhythm very loosely at this point. Going up what seems to be like an E flat 7 arpeggio. And then he's going to resolve back into the same kind of F9 shape. Now that lick right there is really cool. It's the same as before, but we're adding in a note. We're adding in the 5th of F. So we have the 3rd, 5th, flat 7, 9, 13, resolving down to the 5th. Okay, so, and it's kind of a tough one to play. I would hammer on that first note and then sweep, and then maybe do an up pick at that last one. Okay, and then we have our 2, 5, 1 at the end, where we go. Really cool lick. The beginning part is all in the key of E flat. Basically just a scale. Until you get to this point right here where he's obviously, he's showing that he's playing that minor 4 chord. Because that is the minor 3rd of A flat. You can see A flat right there. There's your minor 3rd. Enclosing a note right there. There's the 3rd of E flat, enclosing the 3rd of E flat, and then you're back to the root. Okay, so that's the second A section. So let's jump into the bridge. So right here, he's going up an arpeggio. Same thing, it's a C minor arpeggio. Same thing as the beginning where we're on A flat, but he's playing the 3rd and he's playing a minor 7th arpeggio. So he did that in the beginning over the E flat chord. So he's doing it now over the A flat major chord. And then he does another little triplet figure. This is over the D flat 7. You have the 3rd, the 5th, the flat 7, and the 9. Now that right there, I'm kind of thinking of that as just being altered. The chord is not a B flat 7, but he's kind of playing over a B flat 7 altered at that point. At least that's how I'm thinking about it. So that would be, let's see, that would be the sharp 5 and then the 3rd of B flat, the 5 chord, because then we're going to resolve to the 1 chord at this point. So this next lick is all over E flat. We're just playing the scale, starting on the 9. Now this point right here, you have to grab 4 notes in that space. So I am hammering on and then sliding down. So it's a chromatic passing tone getting to that B flat. So that right there, that's over the C7, that last part. So we have E flat major 7. And then here comes a C7. You can see there's the 3rd. Going up the arpeggio of C7, 3rd, 5th, 7th. To the 9, sliding into that note. And then we have another trill. And this is over the F7 right here. Really cool lick using some chromatic passing tones. Okay, at this point we're on F minor, so he's going to go up in A flat major 7th arpeggio. Again, same thing as before, starting on the 3rd of the minor chord. So we have, let's see. Okay, really cool lick. That last part is G to G flat. You can do it like that as well. And that is over the B flat 7. That indicates that it's altered. It's like a flattened 13 or a sharp 5. Okay, so that's the bridge. Let's move on to the last A section. This lick is really interesting. It's really crazy. He starts on the major 7th, and then he just continues playing through the A flat minor 6, and then back to the E flat, the 1 chord. So it starts off on the major 7, chromatic. We have this little arpeggio, little diminished arpeggio. Right, and then we're back onto the 3rd of E flat. There's that flat 7. We're getting to that D flat 7th chord, which is a passing chord to C7, so it makes sense to play that. All right, now that one's really cool. It's again using that half whole diminished scale over the C7. Okay. This is all over the C7. And then again, we're doing that same lick over the F7. It's kind of like the F9 or the F13. So it's really fast. Again, that takes some practicing to get it up to speed. I just kind of sweep through it with the hammer on at the beginning. Oh. Okay, and then after that, we end with the final lick. Okay, a really cool lick. We're starting off in the key, but then going to like the flat 7 of E flat. It's very bluesy. Down chromatically. And then again with this diminished arpeggio from the major 7 of the key. And resolving to the 3rd. And then the 5th at the end. And there you go. So that is Charlie Parker's solo on Dewey Square. A lot of cool stuff, a lot of cool licks that you can grab from this solo. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy these videos and you want to get a PDF and backing track plus more, check out my Patreon. I'll have a link in the description below. Thanks again.